I was pretty blown away that I didn't get a chance to get. Have you had any of the Crown Royal Peach yet?
No,
Mm.
no. Is
Yeah,
it
neither have
good?
I.
Oh,
No, I haven't either because the one, I guess the one state store that they had it available at um, is one of those no masks allowed store. Have you seen any of these yet? They're popping up all around Pennsylvania now, uh,
no.
where you're actually like, I I
It's
love
the
how,
opposite of the norm. That's
yeah,
bizarre.
I love that shit. No, I really do because the whole narrative of the right is by the way, this we're this might be the only part we actually get a little too topical here, but because I believe I got the email that the pandemic ended on Wednesday. So
I thought it was Easter, so
yeah, yeah.
we're good.
Yeah, we're six. Yeah, the anniversary was like 2 weeks ago or 6 months ago. One
Just
of the
get
two.
over it already, everybody. I
Yeah.
mean, we're
I just
good.
I'm Yeah, like look, I went out and bought a pair of Vans, and I went back to dressing like I'm 19 again. So like why can't we just go to these stores like we did when we were 19 and show fake IDs from Hawaii and buy Crown Royal Peach?
Fuck yeah.
Uh, we
Remix. We're back in the 90s. No, I haven't seen a No Masks Allowed, but I've been chastised by patrons at something as banal as Sheets about, "Are you fucking pussy wearing a mask in here?" It's like, yeah, they have signs that, I don't know. I guess I'm just a fucking sheep. But,
yeah,
I like having my lungs and my brain not be fucked up forever though too, so.
it's kind of been different for me too that I've spent not the movement, but it's been different to have not been actually sick with an infection, other than like the brief possibility of sepsis after abdominal surgery. That that the last 7 months, like I haven't taken so much as a NyQuil in terms of like having to deal with a cough or a stuffy nose or like a scratchy throat. Like people that keep calling this shit fucking like it. Oh, it's just like the flu. Like what? Like it. Like is
Yeah.
like it are symptoms of the flu 8 months later that your fucking cells start to deteriorate. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
they say heart and brain and your fucking lungs. You just because survivability doesn't mean that you're not going to be fucked up for life or need a lung transplant or whatever. And fucking play your games. You don't want to wear your mask to Sheets. You're a
sure,
pussy.
right. And like from what I understand, myocarditis is just it's just the next SARS. A little Sprite and some chicken noodle soup, you'll be all right in about 2 weeks. I don't know
A
if
little
that's
bit of
true.
echinacea and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, look, if you're not doing preventative, then I don't know what you're in here. And by preventative, I'm not talking about the masks. I'm talking about you should be pumping the vitamin C, and you need to hydrate. You have to
zinc
hydrate.
baby,
That's right. That's
zinc.
right. And, again, those empty calories are just going to send you to an early grave no matter what happens. Just like not listening to Darwin's Family Crest. I am Derek. He's Jeremy. We're
What's
bitching a
up,
little
guys?
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of
right.
off the
Fucking
cuff.
hit the ground running. That seems like the new paradigm for us, but maybe that's the remix. Fuck it.
hmm
We're just
Yeah,
gonna
that's
hit
bright.
it running.
Yeah, that Sprite remix is trash. And I thought Travis Scott, everything that he touched was fucking hot. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't need raspberry Sprite. I can make that when I go into Wendy's the next time I'm allowed into a restaurant. I think
No,
that's
I've never heard anything Travis Scott has done. You know what I did recently hear, and here's your egregious fucking Cumtown reference right from the jump. The most recent free episode, which dropped yesterday, I guess, they were making fun of WAP by Cardi B, and I, all this time, haven't listened to that fucking song, and it's just nasty, man.
it is.
It
It
is
is.
just, and I'm not talking like makes me want to fuck. It's just like, this is nasty. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it looks like I mean, it sort of sounds like the subtitles of a Scheisser film. That
Mhm.
where like parts of it where it's just like
There's
I
some
mean,
whores in here. There's some whores. I'm like, what is this shit?
well, yeah, there's a part where like I don't know, it's like F that P hit it good, and it's like with an N dropped in there, and it's and
Mhm.
I just know that the Kids Bop people are just like sitting there in their own piles of sweat and shit, trying to figure out how they're
we
gonna be
we
able
have
to.
to infantize this somehow because it's a bump, boy. We have to. Fuck no, 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 no. But it's just to reiterate their take on it pretty much. But like it's nothing new, and I don't understand why it's so popular. But that's pop music to me. And
Sure, yeah.
that's and I'm gonna quickly deviate from her because fuck Cardi B. I don't give a shit. But there's pop music out there that my brother and I were talking today, and like not everything she puts out or anything, but fucking Lady Gaga, I don't care. She's a fucking rock star. She
Mm,
is a fucking rock star, and it's like this is pop music that I can stand. But then
yeah.
you got this fucking gutter trash shit that it's just like, how is this on the same level? I don't understand.
Well, I think it has to do with just like, I mean, the idea that promotion is like any kind of promotion is positive, and
Well, it's
they
appealing to the least common denominator is the true story, but I mean, like, the dumb, the less than 90 IQs, the idiocracy folk again, I
mm.
mean, Jesus. It's just like, I like to fuck. I'm,
Get
I'm
to
a,
the point. Let's get to the point. You
yeah, I
know,
mean, let's not dance around it with subterfuge and subtlety. Let's just fucking spell it all out for you.
well, it made more sense, I guess, to use subterfuge whenever R. Kelly was doing it and calling it "Keep It on the Down Low," and like
Age
because
is
that,
just a number, baby.
and I
Wait,
think
is that
the
R. Kelly
beautiful.
that wrote that or not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That was actually on an Aaliyah collab.
Oh,
So
yeah, I knew it was Aaliyah, but I thought he wrote that. Age is just
yeah.
a number. It's like, yeah, Kelly, we know what you're up to. Fucking Dave blew that open in 2002, 2003. Why did it take so long to convict that prick?
I think it had to do with just it's probably red tape, man. I mean, like not to mention that dude released. I mean, even after all that shit happened, that dude still like probably made a mint on Chocolate Factory,
Hmm.
and like because he just ended up with, I mean, again, all that shit they was able to sweep under the from like 93 and or I'm sorry 94 95, he was able to sweep under the rug with the remix to Ignition. So
Hmm.
um
That song
not
was
that
a that song was a fucking bump though.
it was. You
That,
can't deny it, man. You
no,
can't
that
deny
song fucking
the
a.
remix to Ignition. I mean, I like
Fuck.
I it was the only time in my life, and because it was a great time for R&B.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that sort of period between like just deep into 98 and like just kind of sinking through to like the end of I see I got this wrong with my wife the other day. Who was the cat that did that entire that video um completely naked? The dude is just he's just this ripped ass uh like built black dude with like no D'Angelo, where he
Okay.
where he did this like sultry ass track where like it was basically the first body issue of ESPN the magazine,
Yeah.
where like they just kind of showed like literally how the babies are made. It would be
the
like, again,
the anatomy issue.
absolutely. And like the only thing I could think of is like if you like took a time machine back to the 1970s where like Al Green showed you which like picked out your candles and like folded the linen back just so when you lay her down that like it just happens, like or him down, whatever. I listen, I and that's maybe that's how R. Kelly and Al Green connect, is as long as somebody was getting laid, I don't think it mattered at that point. It didn't matter the
Hey,
tackle.
I have two questions, and they're kind of like right off of each other. It looks like films. I was gonna say, whatever happened to Mr. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson? And then more importantly, because it looks like 50 has been doing shitload of movies and stuff. What the hell happened to Master P and his No Limit Soldiers?
Okay.
Because if we're going back to that 98 to 2002 era of hip hop and shit, like No Limit was fucking huge, and then they all just dropped off the map. I assume Mystical is locked up for some sort of sexual crime, because if you start a song with "I came here with my dick in my hand," you're probably Me Tooing girls left and right. But
yeah,
that's just my take. I don't know, but
yeah, you're definitely bunking with Epstein at that point. I mean, you have to be, aren't you? Like,
I would hope so. I would hope he's locked up, but I don't know.
Well,
he was pretty bad with that shit. Like, it's this guy's raping for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess probably the first, the first thing I have to point out is, Fiddy's been in Power, the Stars show for the last 6 seasons, I guess.
Okay.
He plays Kanan.
Is that any good? I've never seen an episode of it.
I've seen like snippets of it. I guess Powers, it's in the social media community. It's very it's just like everything else. It's very divisive. There's a it reminds me, I guess, a little bit of like of Empire in a way too, like from Fox, where it's like you're either your team Queenie or your team what's the guy with the little dick?
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, him too, yeah. But it's that's what makes it even more ironic. But I guess in a way, I mean, but he was in a movie that I've actually talked about on this pod before, and he was pretty good in, like a scene that if I would have had a daughter, I definitely would have showed it. There's a scene from Den of Thieves, where he is sort of a like he's part of a heist, sort of one of these like I'm doing this one last heist, so we can retire and that kind of shit, and like he drags
damn it, I'm in.
Yeah. He drags this poor fucking kid into the garage where there's just a bunch of cats in wife beaters, like lifting heavy metal and putting it down, and and he gives this dude a pep talk about bringing his daughter safe and like home 2 hours before curfew, and like again, this dude just he just bricked in his boutonniere and didn't have a shot at it because he's still fucking ripped. And the most ironic thing I think probably about him is the dude just absolutely hit the undo button, like after he got all these tattoos for Get Rich and Die Trying, like he was like, I'm gonna go legitimate and shit, and then got all the shit lasered off, and then basically got the exact same fucking right back on there. And
wow.
And it's like fine, I mean, but like what do you like?
I just wanted to do it again.
Yeah, right. I mean, but maybe, hey, look, maybe that, I guess that could be maybe a kink. Maybe that's more for the sexual thrill.
Fuck yeah.
But
Fuck I'm not gonna kink shame on this show. That's for sure.
No, I paddle me this, Batman. But what I will say about this, the second part of that is I don't think I've heard a peep from No Limit. Literally, I mean like when I think whenever Mace officially sort of parted ways, and I know he wasn't even necessarily a part of the No Limit kind of group, but like that whole group, I think, sort of jumped the shark whenever, because Master P actually at one point, I think it was in 04 or 05, signed a 10-day contract with the Hornets, because he's from New Orleans.
Really?
He signed. Yeah, he signed a 10-day NBA contract and played for a little
I've
bit.
I've definitely said it on the show, but that was my NBA team when I was watching, man, back in the day. But I'm talking Alonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues, fucking days,
Larry Johnson, yeah,
Fucking
probably.
Johnson, my God, yeah, that was a fucking team. Even if they weren't the winningest team, they were fun to watch, you
Yep,
know?
yep. Kendall Gill, Glenn Rice, they knew how to get it around the fucking.
Fucking right.
Yeah, dude. They were buckets, absolutely.
I,
But
I
then,
saw the Bullets before they were the Wizards and the Hornets in DC probably my seventh grade year. It was
oh,
fucking awesome. Chris Webber dunking on Muggsy Bogues and shit. It's like, oh
right.
God, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean I love those. I mean I think there's so much parity in the NBA. Like not so much now because my kid's a Heat fan, so I've been catching a little bit of the bubble ball, and I'm not crazy about watching basketball nowadays because it's hard on the eye.
Yeah,
Because it's more about trying to draw fouls than the intent behind committing them.
yeah,
They've
yeah.
become so stringent about calling like technical and like kicking people out of games and stuff like
You're
that
out of
for
here.
for rough fouls and stuff like that. I know like Bill Laimbeer wouldn't have lasted like 3 games in today's NBA. He'd have clotheslined a ref for getting kicked out of a game. But I mean I do know that like this game now that we're watching is it's still filled with parody because of the I mean right now I mean I don't think there's a league that is like doubling down harder on the social justice aspect of things than the NBA.
Yeah.
Kind of getting back to like what we were hot micing on earlier, the NBA and along like with the cooperation from the commissioner actually has gotten the cooperation from 20 of the 30 teams to use their stadiums as voting sites for the election, and
Okay.
that's a big deal for for some people, in terms of like maybe living in a rural area or that kind of thing, or maybe some places, maybe some of the voting sites are actually located in rural areas where like a more downtown or urban community and that kind of thing might not have access to, or otherwise may actually you know may be escorted away from.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that whenever there's going to be, from what I understand, there's supposed to be NBA hired security and NBA hired personnel that are actually supposed to keep away local law enforcement to deter people from actually voting at this point. And
Huh.
if you're not tone deaf, you're probably able to figure out that this is an effort to get rid of President Spalding, and that's the
Um,
that's
but the detriment is going to be that I heard all the polling places this year are going to be no mask allowed, so that might deter some of the libs from coming because we're a little more intelligent with our own health. But
boy, is that disgusting. I mean, just the idea of it. Like I there was a local restaurant, that went pretty hard, like just against the grain in terms of fighting some of the like actually just went against the health department. Like violated the red codes back in the day, like they were having indoor seating, like no masks and stuff like that, like whenever Cumberland and South Middleton Township and like I mean basically whenever like 90% of the state was red,
yeah,
and it's like you know I understand like your politics are busted, but you're hurting your money in the long run because at the same time that you're earning the respect of your patrons and that kind of thing by staying open for however many tables that you're pissing off the health department because they're gonna be even tougher on things like hand washing stations and
oh
and
yeah,
and cooler temperatures and stuff
yep,
like that, because like you're getting like because you start talking about this kind of shit, you're like right into my wheelhouse because I'm kitchen folk. So
Yep.
and as I get older, I'm sort of becoming political folk. So I feel like at some point I'm gonna end up opening one hell of a Congress soup kitchen at some point, or maybe a fucking Senate food truck or some shit. I guess it depends on the permits at that point. But hey, listen. Speaking of food truck, have you are you um have you tried any of this like incredible meat yet? Um
No,
the
no,
plant-based stuff?
no. It's all beans or whatever. No.
Some of it, it depends. There's different things. Like some of it's soy based, some of it's
Okay.
brown rice based, some of it's black again, some of it's black bean based. It depends. Um,
I'd
there's
probably try it, but it literally never crosses my mind when it's an option. I'd probably try it once and be like, yeah, okay, it's passable, whatever. But
Yeah. I think I mean and I had like I took issue with it largely because of the um there's along with the it being a healthier choice, it's also like it seems to be sort of portion control based. So
yeah,
like they'll have like they'll have like Beyond Burgers and stuff like that, but the burgers are so like they're built so there isn't a bun that actually fits like a burger sort of that small. So you have to like take a random ass looking cookie cutter that cuts down like the burger. So because
that's what
otherwise
I
you're
was
ending.
visualizing when you said it. It's like a fucking cookie cutter, a couple millimeters longer than the burger. That's bizarre.
Yeah, but here I actually found something that at my local grocery store that I can actually get behind. They actually have this Beyond product in like loose meat, like I guess I'm saying this probably pretty tenderly here, but loose meat forms. So they're not pre-pressed, they're not pre-packaged. It actually just like you kind of get to see. Again, we talk about how the sausage is made, how the anti-sausage is made.
hmm
I took a gamble, and I gotta say, if it comes down to it, I feel like I can make my peace like later on in life. Like I'm not going full hippie. I'm not, again, like
Sure, but
I
if all the cows mysteriously get sucked to Mars or Sirius or something, and like, wait, Sirius isn't even a real planet, is it? It's a Gojira planet. But
let's
anyhow, if all the cows get taken away, you could sustain on that and almost believe, although you'd never forget the beef, I think.
No, you would never. No, you would have just ridiculously fond memories of the beef, and I think there's probably two reasons that I can say that I could put certain aspects of beef in my rearview mirror. The first thing is I'm not a steak guy. Okay, so I'm not a guy that
That kind of
needs.
surprises me as a bourbon guy. That surprises the hell out of me, really.
I'm not a steak guy. I mean, we're down like knuckle to bone. I am not a meat and potatoes specific kind of person unless you're talking about like I'm a starch cat, so like I like
Yeah.
pasta. I like but and I again I grew up with I was a box meal kid, with my mom and my grandmother, God knows they tried, but like and they had things available, but like to this day one of my favorite things in the world is my grandmother's busted spaghetti that she used to make with like Campbell's tomato juice.
Huh.
And I swear to Christ, like it's like that kind of food will build your character, but it also kind of sets you up for like, hey, listen, I don't need expensive, like the idea of like going someplace and getting like like I don't know, like a quarter of a leg of cow is
$40
just,
ribeye. Yeah.
yeah,
Just
it's not appealing to me. Like I can do the same, I can do the same amount with a much more, I don't know, a scummier cut, because I feel like that's what's going to be available down the line. So that's the first point, is that like in excess and extravagance, I can sort of pare down and realize that if I don't have another steak for the rest of my life, I'm going to get by.
Yeah.
It's a pass at this point. And the other thing is when you see that you can just use things that are around, I feel like beyond like the Beyond products and like the the incredible meats and stuff like that, like they're setting up for something beautiful. Like I mean maybe almost David Lynchian at this point, and because we've obviously treaded like not so lightly with David Lynch on this show, but let's just say if all of a sudden the spice melange becomes sort of like a little harder to find. I believe that there's probably plenty of like what I would like to probably coin the name as Soylent Peach, and I absolutely feel like once again, because the cow and the pig product, I mean, I think the pig will last a little longer because like people are going to have a hard time like with the cleanliness and stuff. There's going to be a lot of cats that die out, and unfortunately our friends over in Dubai and all of our friends.
What are you dancing around the Muslim community? Aren't
the Muslim community? Well, I mean,
okay.
yeah, because
they're not gonna fuck with them, so that's fine. I'll eat them. That's fine. I mean,
I have to worry about because we're coming up on 19 years that Bush knows fucking like infinity stoned the towers at this point,
but snapped them away, man.
Yeah. But I mean,
what a fucking, I would take 8 more years of him rather than either of the candidates this year. Can I be frank with you? I mean, like, fuck.
My wife made me take a screenshot of the I ordered her a bumper sticker that I found on the internet the other day, and it says, "Fine, Biden, but this is bullshit." At
this point, our best case scenario is fucking Biden having a stroke year 1 and Kamala taking over, and that's the fucking
Absolutely.
God's honest truth. I mean, maybe that's what he's vying on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's your black woman president. She didn't need to be elected, but there the fuck she is. I think she could lead us to victory instead of fucking President Cheeto, but fuck, I don't know. I don't know any of this shit.
Nobody.
I mean, in the last year, I've taught myself more about politics than I cared to know, which is my civic duty since I was 18 years old, but I fucking have been willfully ignorant for basically 20 years.
Yeah.
No, fucking not basically. Christ, I'm 38. 20 years I could be voting, and I've never voted because I hate them all. But that's very irresponsible talk, and I should just stop talking politics because if I don't vote, I don't have a fucking right?
Well, no, and that's my whole bit, because like I have a counter question to this, and I suppose it comes from my Carlinian roots,
Mm-hmm.
And you have to wonder, like, at any point during those 18 eligible or 20 plus eligible years, did you ever feel like your vote was going to matter in the long run?
Truthfully, not under the current system. No.
Yeah.
I don't.
And that's kind of where I was at, and like maybe that's why this year kind of feels a little bit different. That maybe there has been like there's been this tipping point of bullshit. I mean, but at the same time, I sort of feel like if this year doesn't matter and nothing changes after this year, that I'm preparing for Exodus at this point, because I'm literally like escape planning. Like, I'm going to start paying off alibis and stuff because I'm going to need friends whenever I move to Canada.
Right before I got on mic, bro, I told Jason I think my third act is going to be taking the family to the woods of Scandinavia, building a fucking little hut and living off the fucking land in Scandinavia, and just fucking, because it's beautiful out there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I fucking stay off the grid, then so be it. But
yeah, I mean, I
How
don't mind.
realistic is that? I'll be killed by a bear day one, probably. But
I mean, I don't mind doing pirate radio with you. I mean, that sounds. I mean, it's basically what we're doing now at this point.
come down off the mountain once a week to record a podcast. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, I still know English, but
That's funny. I thought you misspoke and you said "come town off the mountain." I was like, "Ooh, or is that like a spinoff?" I was like, because I will definitely do. I mean, again, non-Baronary Grillis is on the way here at this point. Like, because
yeah,
we'll get branded. That's all we need. Like, if I have to lose a tooth in order
naked
to
and I'm
pledge.
gay.
Fuck, I definitely thought I had another point to that, but I guess the whole move here is just to absolutely kick ourselves in the dick for not doing more to get Bernie nominated, because I think Bernie is a Bane guy and Bane's a Bernie guy, so like we could have probably figured things out, got everybody behind something, and maybe above everything else is I got this weird feeling today, and I feel like I, I've been thinking about people that have gotten a raw deal in 2020, and you could go straight down the line. Like, think about people that got their driver's license in January.
How about Kobe Bryant? I mean,
Yeah.
or how about Kobe's daughter? You want to talk about a raw deal? That's fucking.
Yeah.
That's how we started this year, and that's what broke the seventh seal. And now fucking hell is on earth because there's no more room in hell, and it's just fuck, man.
Yeah, I thought it would be a little easier with the Four Horsemen running shit, and it's just like damn, it's all spur and no fucking tenderfoot, dude. It's just
damn,
rough.
Man. It's four pestilences. We need some. Oh God.
Yeah, I went double barrel on my wife earlier tonight, just because the shit was just so loaded. She showed me this video, and it's a heartwarming video because you could tell that everybody was united in their purpose. There was a guy riding a bicycle on the sidewalk because I believe it was somewhere in New York. The streets were just like batshit crazy with traffic and stuff like that. And I mean, yeah, of course it was, but his bike wasn't gay apparently, so he couldn't come to the show tonight, so which is unfortunate. But Ian, if you're out there listening, for God's sakes, send us an email.
Give us a call, man.
Absolutely, gmail.com. And again, I tell you what, Cole's Bike Shop does great gay work on bikes, so we're gonna make this happen for you, dude. But yeah, so this cat on a 18 speed takes a turn too sharp, and like he shit hammers this poor old gentleman, and this guy was old. I mean, like he was. I was surprised he was out by himself, and he was acting, responsibly and that kind of thing. Like he was, again, he had his mask on, like even just during travel and that kind of thing. And this guy just plowed him over, and he happened to have hit him right in front of a fire station. Jesus. And I, much to my surprise, the firefighters, they were pissed. So like, because this guy just got back on his bike, and after he chided the old man, it didn't bother to check on him, get up and
fuck out of here. Whatever. Really?
Yeah. The guy tried to escape, and meanwhile there's a half dozen firefighters, all in pursuit. They chased this guy probably 3 blocks, and it's so funny because that's what's so great about New York City is that you can follow on trail camera for stuff like this to happen.
Yeah.
And it was great because they got him after about 2.5, 3 blocks and that kind of thing. And like, it wasn't anything, like it certainly wasn't, what we had seen, like largely from law enforcement.
Yeah.
And she said, and she's like, that's good, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, but that's why, that's why I've always agreed that I think firefighters should be able, like they should be white guys, and police should be black guys. And she's like, what are you talking about? Why is that? I said, because it's okay if firefighters shoot a fire in the back. And it's
You
and,
fucker. Was the video real? Cause fuck
yes,
you.
yeah, no, the video was absolutely real.
Cause fuck you. Yeah.
Real
You
talk.
had me. Pretty
No,
good though.
real talk time. I mean, like I said, that's why the barrels were straight at society, and she thought she was taking that on the chin. But no, it's a real, I mean, it's a real problem when you need those good feelings of again, like white civil servants actually taking out somebody else, like taking out a white guy instead of a black guy. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the complexion, no pun intended, of the situation here.
Oh shit. Well, we're coming up close to time here on
Yeah.
this mini-sode we're putting out this week. I would be remiss if I didn't thank, if not for me, for letting us graciously using still frame from Capture the Current. I talk to Patrick regularly at work at this point, and he's just champing at the bit, waiting to get back into the studio when the fucking world normalizes a little bit better, because they're working on new material, dude. I mean, we've had the pleasure of hearing some of the unreleased material, and it's just fucking amazing. And I cannot wait to hear what a full length sounds like from these guys, because they were right at the precipice already. But I mean, this has leveled the playing field. When they hit with a full length, they're gonna fucking blow through the stratosphere. I can feel it already, you know?
Well, you want to talk about, I mean, somebody somewhere right at the top of getting a raw deal in 2020. I would say these guys are probably right fucking there, because they were absolutely poised to even go on like a little mini.
He was ready to go on a leave of absence and go on a fucking pretty major tour to support. God, it's upsetting. It's upsetting when you think about it. I mean, all these national acts and shit that I wanted to see this summer, but like, even more importantly, and if I'd have known the COVID shit was going to happen, I definitely would have made accommodations to get to the show that you went to. Yeah. Was that was at the Chameleon Club, which they've since closed, right?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, it goes down, I believe, the end of 2020, and that's
shame I was never there.
Yeah, that's a big loss. I mean, like in a calendar year, we found out that we lost the champ. Another place, another big frequent. I was at the last show at the champ, and again, a place where you always knew that ABR, August Burns Red, made it a point to get back to those Lancaster fans, where they're born and bred. Yeah. And I got to tell you, like, whether it's the Lizard Lounge or it's the main stage, I've seen acts there, including I've seen, if not for me, twice there, or 3 times there, 2 or 3 times there now. I've seen Shadows Fall there. I've seen.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen The Chariot there. I've seen Hatebreed, All That Remains.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, some of my favorite shows have been there. And that place has undoubtedly cemented like who I am as a. I've seen Norma Jean there. So like
it sounds like that place is your CBGBs, and that's fucking very sad. It's
without a doubt
sad for the club, not sad that that's your CBGBs, but you know what I mean.
I do.
It's fucking really sad. It's just like, I hate to see that, because I remember OG Crowbar in State College when it went under, which I saw several shows at, and it was an amazing little spot to see shows from like 2 inches from your bands, when they went under and changed management and changed name and everything, it was never the same after that. But like the 2020 was supposed to be the resurgence of the Crowbar. They were going to bring it back, and it's like, yeah, maybe 2021. I don't know. Fuck. 2020 is not the year we thought it was on January 1. That's for sure.
No, as far as I'm concerned, like we were in Happy Valley around this time 3 years ago, and we were hoping to be able to just catch like maybe a house band or something like that after we left Beaver Stadium from seeing Penn State play,
Yeah.
and it was coming. Like normally you wouldn't look to do something after seeing a game in Happy Valley, but like coming from that energy, like we thought it would be an awesome opportunity to kind of
Fucking
take
right.
that energy and kind of carry it over. But again, yeah, the crowbar had folded, and it seems like it's a loss for that area, in terms of,
Major. Yeah.
yeah, there's just a because there's a good energy with everybody there, and like in that area, and like I said, for you to be so close to that area, and for you to lose that, like, for me, the Chameleon Club was an hour and 40-minute drive, but I could drive there backwards, not using my rear view. Like,
Yeah.
I've been there that many times. And
It's just sad, and not to make this a full length or anything, but I'll just end with this. I have probably said similar sentiments on the show before, but Rock isn't dead. Rock will never die, but Rock is certainly on life support, and this year isn't fucking helping at all.
no, it's
Rock
not.
is definitely on life support. I mean, and like I'm amazed to hear we haven't lost one of the huge ones this year, like your Rob Halfords, your Ozzy Osbournes or something, because fucking A, man, they're just not getting any younger, and this shit
No.
isn't discriminating on who's fucking getting them sick. So
Yeah, and you have to look at, if you've ever heard the rhetoric of, our older generation that says that, like, hey, like, I have to, like, I'm still working, or I'm still doing this, or I'm still doing that because I need to have some place to go. I need to have a purpose. I need to
right,
have something. Again, COVID in 2020 has taken a lot of that stuff away, and it seems it's just one more example of like how this virus is like absolutely skewing towards a generation that isn't going to get their time back. And that's what's
yeah,
so hard about this whole thing,
yeah,
is that, again, these, like, motherfuckers are treating this shit like it's the flu. Like, when you get the flu, you don't get like myocarditis 8 months afterwards,
no,
after having had it, and then
no.
die because your fucking aorta disintegrates. Like, that's not
And the
that's
sad part is not only the lethality rate, but the contagion rate isn't high enough that you could just count on the dickheads saying shit like that getting it. As long as they can talk their shit and not get sick, they just seem vindicated in talking their shit, you know? But
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like, we're we're doing what we can, as far as like trying to forward the lip service that we believe that our listeners should be sort of following. So, I mean, again, everyone, like, we don't charge you for your opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. We just happen to be of a certain guild here where we are trying to do what's responsible, for ourselves, for our families, for our listeners, and for our product at this point. So, again, if we're coming off sounding a certain way, listen, we'd like to hear about it. I mean, we're all about having intelligent discussions, but the important part is intelligent there. So, again, at this point, we need to start evaluating what is smart right now, because we don't suffer stupidity on this show, and as a country, we probably shouldn't either.
oh, and
Um,
here's a call out to the other show. All you hoaxers and fucking red flaggers and all that can pound fucking sand up your ass, because this is killing people and this is damaging people for life. So wear a motherfucking mask and grow up a little bit.
Yeah, hot take, and I usually don't put this kind of business out here, but my mother's, basically her mother-in-law, uh, is believed to have had it, and, you know it is real.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes. I mean, she was on life support, and it deflated her lungs completely, and it was only by her will to live that she's still around.
Yeah.
And so I am literally just above my head tired of hearing people being called sheeple for just being socially responsible right now. So again, if this isn't a quadrant demonstratum moment, I don't know what the fuck is.
Yeah.
So again, we thank, if not for me, we thank Patrick and the boys for still frame. I thank my partner for putting up with my dumbass and my whack liberal opinion bullshit. But it's
my wet ass pussy.
and you know what? It might be a dumb song, but we got to celebrate the WAP. So
God damn, it's a bump. No, it's not. So we'll see you next time.
For the bumps. Cheers.